Good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Family Life. I am Misty, and it is Saturday morning, and I'm out on the patio with my coffee, recording this for you before it gets too hot. So it is Texas weather in full force. I believe we are on 12 days of 100+ degree weather. That is kind of typical. We can go anywhere like 20 to 40 day streaks of 100-degree weather. You can look back in the historical data and see how many years we've done that, but it's nice right now. It's nice and cool. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee here, and we'll get started for today. So this is my favorite coffee cup. This is from Auto Industries. Last year, my husband and I went to a trade show called IMTS in Chicago with work, and we got to go with Auto on a dinner cruise, and it was really nice. And so they gave everyone these cups when we left. And their Mighty Mule brand, or Mighty Mug brand, sorry, not Mighty Mule, Mighty Mug. Favorite coffee cup ever. It keeps it, I'll fix it first thing in the morning. We leave for work, so around 6, I'll fix it at 6. I can drink off of it till 11, 12 o'clock. It'll still be warm. So really enjoy that coffee cup. So if any of you out there work for Auto, thank you for the coffee cup. It's been my favorite. So this morning, I am coming to you with 3 questions that I get asked a lot. I get asked these by family, by friends, by coworkers, and so I thought we could just go over these 3 questions and see if they are helpful to you guys. And if you have grocery related questions, I'd like you to drop them in the comments, because I don't mind answering your questions if I have a good answer for them. And maybe we can do a Q&A video that's solely based on my grocery shopping experience and helping you guys to save money in the grocery store. So the first one that I get asked a lot, sorry, my paper, it's actually a little breezy out this morning. I'm trying to make sure my paper doesn't fly away with my questions on it. The first one that I seem to get asked a lot is, do I stick to my grocery budget or do I bust it? Okay, because a lot of people know what my goals are, but they don't see the day in and day out of, did I actually stick to it, right? So I try very hard to stick to my budget. Sometimes I don't hit that weekly $50 that I set, but I still maintain that overall grocery budget for the month. I'm trying not to go over my monthly amounts ever if I don't have to. However, I'm not afraid to bust my budget when it comes to finding an amazing stock up deal. And you can really only do that if you have the funds available to do that. And sometimes I will tell myself, like, I know that's a really good deal, but this month our goal is to save money for XYZ, so I'm not going to put extra money towards groceries, okay? I have to tell myself that, because it's hard. Sometimes I will see something and I'm like, oh my God, I really want to stock up on that. My other problem is freezer space. I don't always have the freezer space to stock up on something. But do not be afraid to bust your grocery budget if you can, and you find an amazing deal. Now, I'm not saying go bust your budget because you're like tired of cooking breakfast and you just want to buy 8 boxes of cereal and be done with breakfast for a few weeks. I'm not telling you to bust your budget because you are getting complacent. I get complacent, I understand, and you're like, I'm just gonna stock up the freezer with frozen pizzas and Hot Pockets and all those kind of things. Those things are really pricey. What I'm saying is, if you find an amazing deal like those Sunland chicken breasts, okay, I keep going back to that, but that's a great example where it makes your chicken only like 49 cents a pound for really good chicken. Go buy it, go stock up on it, get it in your freezer. You're gonna thank yourself later. When I find those manager specials for 4 for $1 on items, of course I'm gonna stock up on that. That's the perfect time to do that. So you look at those Reynolds wraps that I bought last week, the parchment paper, those are normally $5.89 a box, and I got 4 of them for $1. Okay, so that's a huge savings. I didn't need parchment paper right now. I have some from Sam's, but that was too good of a deal to walk away from. And I know that's just a $1 example, right? But last week when I could get the beef broth 4 for $1, I'm absolutely stocking up on that. And so I went ahead and added in, I think I bought total like $9 worth of beef broth, but that was on top of what I had already planned to buy, right? I hadn't planned to get that, but that was a great deal I found in the store. When I found those pie crust and rolls on sale, I jumped all over that. Those were manager specials as well. So when you find a good deal, if you have the funds available, don't be afraid to jump all over it, okay? That's how you're gonna get ahead in the long run, because you're not paying those high prices later, okay? So do I stick to the budget or do I bust it? Normally I stick to the budget. If I find a great deal, I'm not afraid to bust it. So number 2, what is the best way to start to stock up on food or to start a stockpile? There's a lot of different ways to go about this. A lot of people will say, I'm going to give myself $5 or $10 a week just for a stock up item. Some people will say, I'm going to buy one of 5 items that I need this week, and I'm going to buy 2 more to put away for later. Some people will print off, there's all sorts of lists online you can print off where you stock up on 1 item per week all the way through the year. The only reason I don't like that list is a lot of those things we don't use. So you know what you use in your kitchen, you know what you don't use in your kitchen. So some of those items on that list, it would make absolutely no sense for me to stock up on because it's not something I'm ever going to use. I'm not the type of, I don't want to say this with any negative connotation, okay, at all. And I know it's probably going to come out that way, so I apologize if it does. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I am not a prepper in the sense that I don't have a massive food prep. I'm not worried about, oh, I'm going to have powdered milk to replace my milk, powdered butter, powdered eggs. But I'm not worried about all of that stuff. What I'm trying to do is just provide a little food security for my family so that on months that we want to run tighter because we have bigger goals, or we're going out of town, we don't want to buy groceries, or God forbid that my husband or I lose our job because we're in the exact same industry, we work for the exact same company. So we realize that all of our eggs are in one little basket, right? They're good eggs, but they're in one basket. So if something were to happen, we have a stock to run off of for a little while, okay? So there are lots of different ways to go about that. For me, I kind of found that those weren't the best way for me. I did print out one of those sheets to begin with, and I looked over it and I was like, I'm gonna have to change like half of these weeks to even be things that I would use in my kitchen. So what I started doing is I just started stocking up on those loss leaders every week for things that I would use in my house. And before I knew it, I had my overflow area, I had my pantry full, I had my freezers full. That was the best way to go about it for me. And I'm not saying that's gonna work for everyone. And so one comment that I've got a couple of times on the channel is, some of your grocery hauls seem to be a lot of junk food, right? A lot of junk food. Yeah, sometimes they are, because I have teenage kids and I have little kids and they like snacks. Our kids total between the 3 are 18, which she's out on her own, so she's not here as much anymore. 15 and 8. And they love to snack. So we allow them to do that, right? Not all the time, of course, but we do keep snacks around the house. But like when I buy 5 packages of Oreos, they're not eating 5 packages of Oreos in a week. They are eating 5 packages of Oreos over the course of a few months because they know I'm not going to buy them again. Or when you see me buy those sodas, we're using 1 a week for family movie night, but the rest of them are going to the side, and just that's our stock up for our entertainment for our family movie night. When we have a party at our house, we have drinks, okay? Give me 1 second. I'll be right back to finish. My husband is texting me. All right, sorry about that, guys. We're trying to figure out our plan for today. So that was the best way for me to start stocking up, was just start buying those loss leaders. And your loss leaders are not always junk food, okay? A lot of the times it's fresh produce, it's milk, it's eggs, it's butter, it's breads that can go in the freezer, it's condiments. Like barbecue sauce is a great one. I marinate like my chicken in barbecue sauce and then I cook it on the grill out here. It's really nice that way. So you kind of have to start somewhere, right? You can find rice on sale, your soup's on sale, you can find pasta on sale. You're gonna start, it's different every week. And the nice thing is when you learn to shop at a couple of different stores that are close to one another, you can start picking up the loss leaders at each area. And before you know it, you have a great variety of food. It really does. It adds up very quickly. So what is the best way to start a stockpile or a stock up of food or a food prep? That's going to be up to you. You're going to have to figure out the best way for you. If the $5 method works best for you, great. If it's $10 that works best for you, great. If you need to print out a list and kind of scratch out what you don't use and add in what you do, great. You do what's going to work best for you. So this is question number 3. What are 3 staples you keep in the pantry at all times? I keep a lot of stuff in my pantry at all times. This one was a really hard one for me. So I kind of tried to think about what are the 3 things I would recommend that you keep in your pantry at all times, because you could easily make flavorful, quick meals using them, right? So depending on what you have in your fridge and freezer that you can add with them, these things would make quick meals. So number 1, I would recommend that you keep cream soups and broths. Okay, so I kind of counted that as 1 because it's like the soup aisle, right? So chicken broth, beef broth, or chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, chicken bouillon cubes, beef bouillon cubes, however you want to do it, okay? You can get a big thing of the cubes at Sam's really cheap, because I know not everyone can get the cans on sale. I was lucky enough to get the cans on sale, but I also have the bouillon cubes in my pantry from Sam's, so I always have those to fall back on. And then broths, that is the broths. Cream soups, like cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, okay? A lot of the recipes for like casseroles and baked dishes are gonna call for 1, if not both of those soups. So having a little bit of a stockpile of those on hand is good. Now, I've had people ask me, what about cream of celery, cream of bacon, all these different ones, right? I've never used any of those, so I couldn't tell you. If you do a lot of cooking with that, great. The ones I primarily use are those 2. I think I've seen cream of cheddar in a recipe maybe once or twice, but for the most part, cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, okay? So that would be my first one, cream soups and broths. Try to stock up on those. Number 2 would be pasta and rice. And I included both of those as 1. I know those are completely separate items, you guys, but pick one. If you've got pasta on hand, you can do lots of things with it, okay? Utilizing those soups and broths, you can easily make like a chicken tetrazzini, turkey tetrazzini, tuna casserole, all sorts of things that have noodles in them. If you've got rice, you can go the other way. You can do like a baked chicken and rice that takes those cream soups or broths. So pasta or rice, or some of both, is a great tool to have in your pantry. It stretches your meal. It makes it go a lot further. You don't have to have as much meat in something when you've got pasta or rice in it. It's going to keep you full for a long time, and it's going to be delicious. So far we got cream soups and broths, and we got pasta and or rice. So those things work well together. The third thing I added to work in conjunction with those is canned meat. Some sort of canned meat, whether it's canned chicken, canned tuna, canned salmon, whatever you prefer, okay? Because now you've got 3 things in your pantry that, regardless of what you've got going on in the rest of your house, can work well together to form easy, quick meals, okay? So I keep canned chicken, I keep canned tuna, primarily. I also keep canned salmon. I don't really like to put it in other dishes. We like to do like the old-fashioned salmon patties, and we do those when my mom's in town. So that's just on the shelf for when mom's here. But canned tuna, again, now you can make that tuna casserole. Canned chicken, you can throw it in with the rice and the soups, and you can make chicken and rice. So all of those things kind of work together. And sometimes when you're, especially going back to question number 2, how to start stockpiling on food, is you need a functional stock, right? You need things that will work well together. And so once you start getting a few items that you can put together, you'll be able to quickly form meals for your family for dinner. All right, sorry about that. My daughter came out to ask me a question. So those are what I would say are a great 3 staples to start keeping in your pantry, especially in the beginning. So try to start stocking up on some of those things. So that answers my 3 most commonly asked questions by friends, family, and coworkers. So feel free to drop your questions below, and I'll give you my advice, my input on how to make those things work, or how to make them work best for your family. So I hope you are having a great weekend. We have a busy one coming up. My daughter has marching band pictures and makeup registration today because we were on the cruise when they did registration. Then she has marching band. Axton's out with Daddy right now. They've gone to get a haircut, and then they're going to tournament team practice for karate. And then my daughter has marching band camp from 1 to 4, and then from 6 to 9. And she does not know this, so I have to be quiet so she doesn't hear. But at 2 o'clock, we have an appointment to go look at a car that could potentially be her first car. And so the reason we're going ahead and getting it now, she doesn't turn 16 until next June. It is a used vehicle. We're not buying a new vehicle for her, but Daddy wants to drive it. for the next few months to make sure that everything on it is good to go for her and that everything's safe and well maintained and that there are no issues going to crop up on her, things that need to be replaced, etc., before she gets behind the wheel of her first vehicle. So that is something we're going to go look at today. So we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, I think that's all we're going to have time for today. I need to go to the grocery store this weekend because it's double fuel points. And I told y'all I like to go when it's more advanced. I'm trying to think how to say the word. Okay, I can't come up with that word. When it's in my best interest, right? So it's in my best interest to go when the fuel points are double or 4 times the fuel points, because fuel is very expensive right now. And we're apparently gonna possibly be adding another vehicle. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye.